And
There
we
we
are live.
go.
Look at that.
Extraordinary. I had my doubts because you're living there in the atmospheric waterway of the West.
No, yes, we are at the bottom of the atmospheric river here in beautiful, well, in the Northwest, in beautiful Edmonds, where we broadcast from. And then we go down to Pasadena. We pick up Michael. And then together we are Mikey and Vinnie here every Friday, Wednesday, and Monday mornings at 10:10 or abouts. Today's a thereabouts today. Now, back in another
Definitely.
3 minutes, it would be almost tomorrow, probably. What are
This
you
is
going to do?
definitely an about stay.
Yeah, it's definitely an about state. But listen, it's been difficult. I'm thankful that we have internet this morning. There's many people who don't have even the basics this morning, so I will count my blessings as for those who may not be aware, we are going through extreme floods here in the Northwest. A lot of people I know that have cabins up on the Skycomish River are as we speak trying to see if they still have a cabin. The waters have, the falls out in Snoqualmie and the town of Snoqualmie and the town of North Bend, and it's mudslides all over the place. I mean, it's just not fun out there.
Well, my old neighborhood of Wenatchee and Leavenworth are underwater with the Wenatchee River.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and Leavenworth. I mean, that's sad for Leavenworth because it is, one of their prime weekends of the year, Christmas weekend, as you know. With the lights. Not only they flooded, they don't have any power, so they can't even turn the lights on and say, "All right, look at the cameras" or something. It's dark. You just don't have anything there. And
And getting there from the west side is not going to be easy today anyway because of the passes are wet.
yeah, yeah. I mean, at least and at least they're not snowed in, so you don't have um the sliding and the bumping and the go off the side of the road and all of that going on that you might normally have in a snowstorm. So, knock on wood, it's not snow, but in some ways, I'd rather have snow because you don't have the incredible damage that's being caused by all of these floodwaters, and it's unbelievable how wide it is, and it's not even really the worst that this area has ever seen. It looks worse than it is, I think, in many cases. But if you're in the middle of it, it's the worst you've ever seen.
Coffee.
So that's what we're dealing with up here today. There's been updates all over the place. The governor and Red Cross and everybody. If you have uh, the means to donate to the Red Cross, they could use your help. That's for sure. And if you have the time to go out and volunteer to serve, coffee and donuts to these people that are out there evacuating people in boats, uh, that's also needed too. You could do worse than to get in your car and stop at the Krispy Kreme and grab a dozen donuts and a pail of coffee and go up and drop them off at some of these people that are blocking roads and stuff like that, so you can't get in to some of these places because you know that you're going to have the cadre of idiots today that are going to, these cops and fire people and everybody going to be blocking off roads. And there's going to be the idiot with the pickup truck that's jacked up 6 feet high that's going to go up to him and say, well, I can go in. I can go through the water. I can, I'm smarter, better, stronger, faster, bigger than anybody else. So I can go through it.
Actually, what you're going to do is float away just like everything else.
Yeah. And what they ought to do, and what I've always thought, is when you get an idiot like that, and believe me, folks, they're out there. When you get somebody like that, You should take his name and his number and his license plate and his registration. And when they pull that crap and they get stuck and you have to go in later and rescue them, I always think a good idea is to send them a bill for that rescue.
What's it like right now in your neighborhood if you wanted to go to Dick's for lunch?
Oh, my neighborhood is good. We have a stream that runs in the back of my house, and I went out and looked at it last night, and it's not risen all that much. If you go a few blocks to the west along that stream, it basically runs through Edmonds and down to the Sound. There is a wetlands. Actually, I think a lot of Edmonds is built on wetlands. But there's the stream that runs down. I don't even know the name of the stream. Is it Fords Creek or anyway? There's signs that it's there and everything. But as you go down toward the Sound, there's a place a few blocks west that it flattens out, and they have it. I guess they couldn't build over these wetlands for some reason when they were building these houses. And so it's just been left wetlands. That is risen to where it was just under the roadway that goes over the wetlands. So that's, but it's not to the degree where it's going to go over the roadway or anything. And for you people, especially the Trumpers, that want to open your yap about how much President Trump has done, it was the infrastructure bill of President Biden that, I don't know how many years ago, pumped money into the Public Works Department here in Edmonds so that they could build mitigation for these creeks and stuff, so that when they did rise, they wouldn't go out; they'd stay in the creek and go down toward the Sound. So, just a note on what one president has done versus another. One president just talks bullshit, and the other one actually puts money where his mouth is. But I'm just I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Well, as the Trump administration failed the state of California during their aftermath of the fires in Altadena and the west side, so it is that the president will fail the state of Washington. And you should expect that failure to be worked on right now. Before the day's done, they'll have the penciled in plan for just how destructive this failure to respond will be.
Well, he thinks this is the socialist Northwest. And and for him, he's not going to know the difference between the governor here, who's a Democrat, and the mayor of Seattle, who isn't in office yet, but is a socialist. So I'm sure that him and his minions are already working hard on what they can deny the socialist
I
state
doubt very
of
much
Washington.
if he's working, and I assume he is. I can't believe he's working hard. Cannot.
No, he's got nothing going. It's just vapid. It's just not. It's not happening for him or for anybody else, really.
And for Americans who have no memory whatsoever to apply to the situations that we're living through with Donald Trump, what about the Epstein tapes? The Epstein tapes are supposed to be coming out, all the releases, all the information, all the stuff, all the elements of who his friends, pictures, emails, all the nonsense that's part
they're
of
redacting them, Michael.
Where the hell is it?
They're redacting them. They're spending time, crossing out all the names that they have to. They're making sure that their cronies and buddies aren't going to be named in those papers. You know what's going on. That's even Marjorie Taylor Greene knows what's going on. I mean, when she's decided to dump you, you must be committing some pretty hairy stuff.
You are rightly and righteously dunked. Dunk is
You've been dumped
professionally.
by Marjorie Taylor Greene. It ain't easy to get that distinction in your life, but she's dumped Trump.
She has her standards.
It seems that she has dumped Trump for reasons unbeknownst, really, to because you take what she says with a grain of salt. Is it true? Is it not true? Is she just running cover for something, or is she legitimately, off the Trump wagon?
I think she's off the wagon. I don't think she'll be the last. This gives me the opportunity to look to the short future and see other Republicans joining her in that point of view. And with the votes being so rare and tight in the House of Representatives, look for those votes to be courted by the Democratic side, so that they don't have a margin of 4, so they can't afford any defections.
They haven't done it yet on health care. There was a bill on health care. Was it yesterday, I think, or maybe the day before?
Democrats had one, and the Republicans had one yesterday. They both voted them out of the Senate.
Yeah. And
we haven't fixed it yet.
Right. And this is just for an extension.
Right.
They're not going to fix anything right now. They couldn't fix a flat tire, this Congress.
It's true.
But what you're hoping for is that they at least extend these the Obama subsidies for health care, so that people aren't going to get hit with unbelievable health care bills after the first of the year.
And thousands of people will go without coverage.
Millions of people. It's no joke. It's not a few people because they make $1 over, $1 million a year or something like that. These are people who cannot afford to lose their health care. And I'm certainly in that class of people who have been, who's hunting now for less expensive health care. And less expensive health care almost always means giving something up. And the only thing that they I don't know how they did it, but so far the precondition clause that says that they can't deny you because of preconditions hasn't been changed so far. And believe me, the insurance companies absolutely want that one.
Absolutely. Save all that exposure.
Right. If they can drop that group of people, if they drop people who already have a condition, they'll have nobody to insure. Because it seems that everybody in this country has a condition of some kind.
That's
whether it's a goiter, a lumbago, or whatever it is.
Just dropped in to see what condition my condition is in.
It's if the insurance companies get their way, they're not going to cover your condition, no matter what it is. They want healthy people to get health insurance. The non-healthy people, you shouldn't have health insurance. You should die.
Why would they call it health insurance if you're going to be sick? That won't work.
Well, and then it leads to the tragic results, either for you or for the people that run these health insurance companies. And people get sick and tired of what they put people through.
Sick and tired. Interesting combination.
Sick and tired, yeah. My mom used to say, "I'm just sick and tired," and I used to look at her when she would say that and say, "Well, which one is it? Which would get me a slight rap with the knuckles for talking back to your mother.
You knew it was coming.
Oh yeah. You just always hoped you got it from your mother instead of your father.
Instead of both.
Yeah, or both. Yeah, daddy could, he could give you a backhand, you know. He could slap you across the mouth that you'd remember it. You know, Mama was much more of a. She had a slurve.
Well, they were interested in knocking you into next week.
Yeah, Papa had a fastball, and he didn't lose his fastball till late in life. And even when he lost his fastball, he still had a fastball.
You still had junk.
Much. You know, my father had enough kids and was around long enough that parenting changed in the time that he was a parent. And to my unbelievable belief, my father changed his parenting with the times. And I often tell my younger brother, who is 20 years younger than I am, how lucky he had it that he didn't have to go through what I went through because I was the oldest. And he was born late enough that hitting had kind of gone out of style already. But you know, you got it. You know, when I was a kid, you got it if you talked back.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, you just got threatened. You didn't get it anymore. You just got, what would my father's favorite expression was? I'll hop you in the ass.
Well, at least you got a warning.
We used to laugh about that so much, man. My adopted brother and I, he'd say that, and we would just start laughing, and it would stop him because he couldn't believe what I was saying. I couldn't believe what he was saying. Well, hop you in the ass. Well, what is hop you in the ass?
More on that later.
Yes, more on that later. So what else is going on, Michael?
Well, the National Football League is trying to come to the end of the season. The college football NCAA football conundrum is prepared for a weekend of playoffs and people vying for opportunities to advance their careers via the meeting of two great teams in a bowl selection situation. Right now, the Rose Bowl is still up in the air. We got Indiana, one participant. We don't know who they're going to play. But by the time this weekend's over, we will.
Yeah. Well, it's that now famous college playoff that we always said that we wanted to see, right? How much did we scream when we were doing exclusively sports radio about having some kind of playoff system?
Well, they do have some kind, but they don't have a kind that satisfies everyone. In fact,
you won't. You won't in college sports because you have too many people with jackets running around. The guys in the jackets hold a lot of power.
Stay away from them.
When you see those funny colored jackets running around a stadium, you know you're in trouble. Or running around your practice field, or trying to figure out how many people you could bring to a bowl game. That's why we have things like the Nate's Mayonnaise Bowl, or the Trojan Condom Bowl, of which each hotel has a big old bowl of condoms right in the lobby for your free use.
Right where you sign in.
Sign in, grab yourself a bunch of condoms. Or what's the other the Vadra what is it? Vadramex? Vadramex. Vaginex lubricant bowl. And I got everything. Bowls we'd like to see, right? The Tiny Bowl. Is Kimmel doing a bowl this year?
I think it got canceled.
Yeah, because Trump told him no, huh?
Or else this is the last year.
Yeah, he had sponsored a bowl for the last few years.
The Guillermo Bowl.
Fine by me. I think they ought to let him officiate it too. But yeah, all the which way we're going nonsense in college football will rear its ugly head this week, and why not, right? Seahawks are playing the Colts.
Should be a good game.
Well, I don't think so. To be honest with you. Indianapolis is brought in. I got to think of his name now. His name is escaping me. I think he's like 41 years old.
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers. Thank you. And Phillip, I guess, is going to be their starting quarterback because their real starting quarterback left.
Can't start
with an injury. And by all predictions, by everybody that you talk to that knows about football, they feel that this defense is just going to murder Rivers and his Colts. The Seahawks defense. They're just, they're just so on top of it right now. They're looking so good.
I think there's something to that. I think Rivers is too old. You know who said the ex-49er quarterback said, if you wanted to win, you should have chosen me. If you wanted to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, they weren't doing bad until their other quarterback got hurt, and they're 8-5. So I mean, it's not like they're chopped liver, but I don't know. I just don't. It just doesn't seem like they're a team to worry about. The Colts. I mean, with this quarterback, but again, it's one of those games where it's easy for a younger team, which the Seahawks are, to take as a gimme and not show up. I don't think you not show up, but you certainly can take them for granted, and I think that's one of the things that I don't know that you're going to have to. That if you're Michael McDonald, the former backup singer extraordinaire, now head coach of the Seahawks,
Doobie Brothers offensive coordinator.
I think that I think that's something that you have to be aware of with this team. I would think, just to because the Seahawks are a funny team. The last few games, they have been awfully quiet in the first half, and then exploded in the second half. Now, jokingly, Monday, I was thinking, well, maybe that's their strategy. Maybe they're giving some guys the first half of the game off. I don't know. I wouldn't count on that, though. From my observations of football, which are, suspect to say the least, I just don't know if that is a wise or a real thing. But we'll see on Sunday. I'm actually going to go to the game on Sunday. Haven't been to a Seahawks game in a while. And I'm going to saunter down to the stadium and cheer for the Seahawks in person. And I'm going to cheer. I'm not sitting in the press box. My friend Terry has got me a ticket. And I'm going to sit in the stands and be a fan.
Excellent.
Which is a good way to see a game.
You wear your number 12 jersey.
I don't have a number 12 jersey. I have a Jim Zorn jersey.
That'll do.
And I'll be wearing
good.
that.
That's good tradition.
Yeah, I'll be old school. I'll be wearing my Jim Zorn jersey. It's a good tradition. Zorn's a good guy. Got to know him when I was doing the Seahawk Huddle many years ago, and he was a good friend of Dave Wyman, who I was doing the Seahawk Huddle with. And also Brock Eward, him of friends, which I was also a person who Brock Eward got his first taste of broadcasting with on the Seahawk Huddle. I like to tell people I taught him all he knows.
How does that taste now, Brock?
Well, you ever have that feeling that you created a monster?
I finally found what I was looking for. The two teams that will vie to face Indiana in the Rose Bowl will be Alabama and Oklahoma. And we'll see who plays in the Rose Bowl as a result of that, facing Indiana.
I'll root for Oklahoma because I couldn't, in good conscience, ever root for Alabama.
Can you? Well,
I don't care if Joe Namath went there or not.
I'm going to have trouble beating Indiana. I don't want them.
That they're a team to be reckoned with. A surprise team, but a team to be reckoned with nonetheless. And I wouldn't, who knows what will happen in that contest. But as I said, I'd like to see Oklahoma win that. It would make my good friend Kevin Kremen a happy camper to watch his Sooners go to the Rose Bowl. And you know what? I got to tell you that I have been at a Rose Bowl where the Cougs have played Oklahoma, and those Sooners travel well, man. They fill up the city.
They boom. The boom.
Yeah, they come in and they travel well. They spend a lot of money. I think they save up all year for the trip, and I think that they seem to be a lot of fun. I had a good time at that Rose Bowl, even though the Cougars lost. Still had a good time, just hanging out. Just hanging out on Colorado Boulevard and whatever that other street is there. Just a good group of people. They love their football, man, and they seem like they don't have a hell of a lot else.
Might be right about that.
What's the other? Oh, you know what I was going to say, but that's actually, and it's a shame on me because I tend to mix these two states up. I at times, for whatever reason, always mix Arkansas and Oklahoma up. Like things I think that happen in Arkansas actually happen in Oklahoma.
That happens a lot.
And I think, vice versa. So I was just about to say that, well, they have Walmart, but then I realized that Benton, the home of Walmart, is in Arkansas, not in Oklahoma.
Right.
So, and they also have Big Ed from the 90 Day Fiance in Arkansas, and it's not Oklahoma. But I was about to say they have Big Ed and Walmart. What more could they want? But Arkansas has those two things.
You want the Molly B polka party.
Is she from Arkansas?
There's no way to know if she's from Arkansas or Oklahoma. She won't discuss it.
I just saw a documentary about polka with Molly B. And interesting woman. She's the queen of the polka. There used to be a guy, I don't know if you ever saw him, called Big Joe.
Oh, yeah.
And the Big Joe Polka Show.
And he wore homemade vests that should not have been worn on television.
Did you ever see, what was the movie that John Candy did? No, was it John? No, it was Jack Black did a movie about the King of Polka in Pennsylvania. I can't remember the name of the movie off the top of my head, but it's a great movie. If you get a chance and you want some good entertainment. Candy and Eugene Levy did the Schmengi Brothers.
Yeah.
On Second City TV.
Right.
Who also did a great polka thing as well. So it was, if you live in Western Pennsylvania,
it ain't funny.
You know the polka. I mean, I've been to polka parties and polka dances. My neighbor that lived across the street, Polka Joe, who used to bring me punchki every Easter.
What's punchki?
Punchki is like a sugared donut type of thing that's Polish. The Polish people make it. There's punchki, and there's another one that's like a brittle piece of fried dough pastry with powdered sugar on it. And between the two, you get your Polish fix. And in Pennsylvania, you get more than that. They have every Lent, Lent in Pennsylvania is a big thing because there's a big Roman Catholic population. And so every Friday, all the churches have fish fries. So every church. But the church in Carnegie, Pennsylvania, not Carnegie, but Carnegie, is a Polish church. And they put on very possibly the best feed in Western Pennsylvania for
free polka party.
I mean, you go into most of them, you get the standard fare, you get boom. St. Margaret Mary has lobster rolls. They do lobster rolls.
Who was St. Margaret Mary? What did she do? How did she become a saint? St. Margaret Mary. How did she become a saint?
I don't know how she became a saint.
Wasn't anything with Jeffrey Epstein, was it?
No, but she definitely did some saintly stuff because there's a lot of churches of Margaret Mary, and I have both a cousin and an ex-wife named Margaret Mary. So she definitely did something. I don't know what it is.
And it doesn't matter anymore. It's done.
It was something. My cousin Margaret Mary was responsible for my love of watermelon juice.
I see.
Because she had watermelon juice, watermelon punch at her confirmation party. And I tasted that and went, wow, that is good.
I'm drinking some more of that.
I will get that wherever I can. And many years later, somebody bottled it and they charge, I think, $8 or $10 a bottle for it at Whole Foods. So I don't drink a lot of watermelon juice, and I guess I could make it.
Seems to be rather expensive. You get it cheaper at pavilions here.
Yeah, I would imagine that anything that Whole Foods has, you can get cheaper someplace else. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of. I mean, I wish Trader Joe's had watermelon juice. I'd be on it because I know it would be cheaper.
They have seasonal watermelon juice mixed with
cucumber.
Cucumber, yes.
Yes, I've seen it with cucumber. I'm not a fan of that. I like the straight watermelon juice, nothing mixed in.
And it's seasonal. They have another seasonal thing that's going on right now. They have a ginger beer in the winter months. It's very spirited ginger ale. I recommend it. But why you can't get it in the summertime makes no sense to me. It just makes no sense.
Right. It's like their jalapeno lime juice. You can only get that in the summertime. Very limited. Sometimes they have it in the winter. Usually it's stuff that's left over from the summertime that nobody bought. But I can drink that by the gallon. The jalapeno lemon lime juice that they sell. They sell it in bottles, not in the. They always have limeade in the cold section.
Right. Correct.
But the jalapeno lemon lime juice, for some reason, just comes in bottles, which I'm okay with. So I'm excited for the for going to the game. I'm going to have to spot it out early, look for the bathrooms, see how far of a, because these days when nature calls,
you got to answer.
You got to answer.
No fooling around.
You got to answer. It's not like you can just, put the beer cup down there and take a leak. I think they'll throw you out of the stadium for doing something like that.
They frown on that.
Although I would suggest that it has been done and is done many a time at a Seahawk game.
I think you're right.
I just pity the people that piss in the beer cup and then,
kick it over.
A quarter later, forget that it's urine instead of beer.
Here's a quick reminder.
Or somebody bends down and says, "Let me get a sip of your beer," and
help yourself.
Help yourself. What else we got? The 49ers are taking on Tennessee.
The lowly Titans. I was talking about that team the other day. If they had just called themselves the Nashville football team, they could have had a much better image. There's nothing in Tennessee that reminds you of the Titans. The Titans, by the way, were the parents of the Greek gods. And if you've been to Nashville or other parts of the environs, you know that there are no Titans or Greek gods in the state of Tennessee.
No.
Not today, not tomorrow, not ever.
Yeah, been to Tennessee several times and can attest to that.
If they call them the Nashville Players or the Nashville Guitars or the Nashville
Music, the Nashville Notes, could have come up with a gazillion names better than the Titans. But and on top of it, they took the name of a team that was a losing football team, because we all remember that the Titans were the New York Jets.
Yes.
Until 1962. So why did you take a name of a team that was a loser to begin with? It couldn't get out of its own way, that didn't have a home.
Why not let Nashville have the team's name instead of this business about trying to name a football team for a state, which is impossible and which is embarrassment to watch them make the effort.
Well, I don't know what's more unbelievable in the National Football League, that the Kansas City Chiefs are 6-7, as we talked about earlier this week, or that the New England Patriots are 11-2.
It's crazy.
I mean, and that Buffalo would go into this game, a team that everybody was talking about as a Super Bowl contender. It was the mortal lock team in the preseason was bet on Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. And while at 9-4 they have a chance at it, there's just a bunch of teams that look a lot better than Buffalo in the league.
Buffalo can't win. That's the strangest thing. And it's similar with Kansas City. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of memories. They have a lot of muscle memory on what it's like to win, but they cannot do it. They cannot pull it together. Simply cannot organize themselves into a winning team.
Baltimore 6-7 is kind of a shocker too. I just don't. What I get from what I get from the entire NFL right now is that there's a lot of teams in the mix. There's no team that I've looked at and said they are a clear favorite to go to the Super Bowl. Like shut it all off. This team has it. And, usually there's that one team that you look at and, you have Denver and New England with the best records in the league. And I don't know. I don't look at those teams and say they are mortal locks. I mean, I think that the Seahawks are every bit as good as either of those teams.
They haven't shown they're close, but they haven't shown that they have the week in and week out strength to organize a run for the money.
The Seahawks?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Sam Darnold has a weird game like every third game.
Well, I think he's only had. He had that 4 interception game. What was it? 3 weeks ago. I'll give everybody a bad game. I think the offensive line has come together. Don't forget, this is a new offensive line that he's working with. And I think that the offensive line has certainly, pulled their act together. And is much improved now over what they were at the beginning of the season. And I think the defense is phenomenal. They may be better, have played better over the last 5-7 games than the Legion of Boom, which was an unbelievable defense. But it just seems like they have just pulled it together. And Jackson Smith Jigba is a joy to watch. I mean, he's just a guy that Sam Darnold finds. However, he's got to find him. Charbonnet is another guy that is. It seems like, and I'm not sitting there watching it every day and going to practice and everything, but it certainly seems like Darnold has in the beginning of the season didn't find his tight ends as much, and now seems to be finding them a lot more.
You got to have a tight end if you're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you got to have a tight end that can both block and run the ball, catch the ball, move the ball. However, he's going to move it. You got to have a tight end that can do that. And I think the Seahawks have discovered how to get their tight ends to move, to get things going. So, and as I said, the defense is off the charts, and I don't say that they're going to go out and win the Super Bowl, but I think they certainly have the potential, if they peak down the stretch, to get a first round bye and to, although this might be a team that might be better without a first round bye. Might be better, you know.
Stay active. Don't take a day off.
Right. Stay active. Don't take a week off. You know, so I don't know. I know that I'm going to go to the game on Sunday. I'm going to enjoy the game, and just enjoy. You know, I think I'm going to see the Gas Man on Sunday. I
That'll be
believe
nice.
in the group that we're going with. I know he'll be there because it's the Indianapolis Colts. So one way or another, he'll be there. Whether he'll be in the club with us and then out in the stands, I'm not sure.
Who are you
But
going with?
I'm going with my friend Terry Fletcher and Mark Collins. I don't know if you remember Mark. Mark was the head of Save Our Seahawks way back when the Seahawks needed to be saved. It's hard to impress upon the young people in the crowd that there are people that came before them who laid down in front of trucks to keep this team here. So, but, you know, it's also young kids who never believed that there was a time that you couldn't pick up your telephone and watch every episode of Gilmore Girls. So,
As ridiculous as that might seem, there was a time when you could not have Gilmore Girls on demand.
I don't know how we got by like that.
It's impossible to imagine life without them.
I don't know how we got by with having to wait for the next week after a show.
Well, the Gilmore Girls were in such a pickle. I can't wait a week to figure out how that got resolved.
And you couldn't go back and watch it unless you taped it. And then again, even before that, there was no taping. I mean, we're old enough to have remembered when you couldn't tape a show. When you just had to wait till next week. When are they on? 9 o'clock on Saturday night? I'll be in front of my television set because if you didn't see it, you didn't see it.
Please understand that was a time in our history. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it. And there was nothing there was no power on earth. There was no Mike Johnson to fix these things.
Right. There was no Donald Trump fixing all of this stuff, saying that we're gonna make this right. We're gonna have
because he stopped
Fox for everybody.
He stopped 9 wars, 8 wars. How many has it been?
I forget.
Wars you've never heard of, wars that may or may not have existed. He took care of them.
I think he's now taking credit for the War of 1812 and the Boer War.
The Boer War was a good one. I love the Boer War.
The Boer War was, yeah, and we have to explain for some of the people in the audience, it's BOER, not BORE. The Boer War. Look it up.
If you don't know anything about your South African history, you will.
It's
come to grips with it.
Basically how they exist. I think he already took credit for the Falkland War.
That was a good war.
Which doesn't get the credit it deserves.
Put Maggie Thatcher right on the map.
Yeah, I mean, she was nothing before the Boer War, before the Falkland War came along. And she wasn't screwing around. I mean, she sent the troops out there to defend that island and all 1,200 people that live on it.
She was a little touchy. You have to admit, Maggie could get overreact to certain things.
Well, she went in the locker in the bunker, and she started looking at tapes of Churchill. And, just said, how did Churchill do this so well? He had people in pubs all across England singing, "We'll meet again, don't know how, don't know when." She had Americans singing over there. Churchill had it, man.
He had better songs. Maggie didn't have any songs.
Man, she had no songs. Had nothing. She couldn't get Elton John to record a song. She couldn't get anything.
Hey, Vinny, what are you driving?
I am driving. I don't have any pictures of it, unfortunately, but I'll get some because I wasn't going to stand out in the rain and take pictures. A Volkswagen Tiguan, which this is the second one I've had. This is a 2026. The last one was a 2025. And it is a vehicle that I highly recommend. I mean, Volkswagen got this right. Just a stunning vehicle that is small, powerful,
SUV
good
like.
to drive, holds the road well, is great on gas, is comfortable. I mean, Volkswagen. Unfortunately, people don't consider Volkswagen at the top of the line anymore when they look at SUVs, but they have
German engineering.
Well, it's the German engineering, and they're also expensive to repair. I mean, when you get a Volkswagen, it gets out of whack, and it's out of warranty. They're expensive to repair, but they make great cars if you keep the car in tune and running right, so on and so forth. They're great cars. So I'll be talking about that on drive time tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And plus, we're going to talk about the K cars. Do you know what a K car is?
No.
The K car, or key cars, as some people say them, are the smaller cars that they drive in Japan. And they look like 3/4 scale cars. Or vans, usually. They're either little vans or little pickup trucks that have like a cab over look to them. And President Slapdick, the week before last, said that he thought that we should have more K cars or key cars in this country.
Well, did you see in San Francisco, the automated cars had a unscheduled meeting on the street where they were all block traffic. Nobody in the car, automated. It just does my heart good to know that the city that developed these cars is responsible for them going insane and operating on their own. They have their own artificial intelligence.
And we got them. We have them now in Seattle. And I am easy and proud to say that I have experienced longer than most people with these Waymo cars because they were developed in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh.
You got to see them malfunction years before anybody else.
Yeah, I actually have some pictures of these cars from like 2006, 2007. No, 2017. 2016, driving up Highway 19 with all the Waymo equipment on it. They were on Volvos back then. And they were going wacky back then, too. Pittsburgh is a city of hills, as you may know. And the Waymos initially did not like the hills.
They were uncomfortable with the hilly structure of the city.
Well, the city has such an odd structure to it because it's an old city. So there's streets that continue, like you have 11th Street, let's say. And 11th Street will start at this section of town. And then you'll go to another section of town. And 11th Street won't be straight across. It'll be 2 miles south of where the other 11th Street is. So you GPSs don't work well in Pittsburgh.
They just don't connect.
It's just you have to know the city, and
you got to know the territory.
Yeah, and many of the streets in Pittsburgh are still cobblestone, which I think, if I remember right, throws the Waymos off.
Well, the funny thing about the Waymos is they get confused, and then they gather together like like bees going off to make a new nest.
Well, I guess what happened in the case of that particular Waymo is that one Waymo hit another one. And I guess if one Waymo hits the other one, it screws the whole system up. Because then a third one came to them for whatever reason. And it was on a small street. It looked like, I don't know where it was, but it looked like it might have been either the marina or Noe Valley. The houses that they were in front of kind of had that look to them. And it was funny. I mean, anytime those Waymos do that, it's hilarious. Stand on El Camino some afternoon around 4 o'clock in San Mateo, let's say. And you'll just see legions of them coming up from Silicon Valley. They don't take 101, they take El Camino. And just one after another. I don't understand why those people can't take a bus like normal humans.
What do they do when it's time to clean up a neighborhood that's full of Waymos? Do they tow them? Do they have to turn them all off and reprogram them?
Pretty much so, yeah. They send the supervisor out.
Oh no, not that.
Yeah, they have a person that comes out, probably in another Waymo. Although I wouldn't count on it because he wants to be able to control where he's going.
It takes forever to get there.
And they come out and they reset him. I don't know that I've ever seen where one's been towed. I think they reset it and it drives back to. They put a driver in it and they take it back to wherever it has to go.
Now, when it's time to take the Waymo to manual, turn the key, start the car, put it in gear and go, does it resist at all? Does it like artificial intelligence?
I don't know. I'm suspecting that there's a switch in it, some kind of switch that you hit it, and it just cuts all that autonomous driving nonsense off. I don't know if it's a switch that can be operated by the passenger. I mean, what happens if a passenger feels in danger for some reason and has to get out of it? Is there a switch in there, a button that pulls the thing over to the side of the road? You can immediately get out of the car. Suppose it catches on fire, as it seems electric vehicles tend to do. Not more than gas vehicles, but they catch on fire. How do you get out of it?
We had an electric school bus catch on fire on the 210 freeway, and they had to close it twice because the battery wouldn't stop burning.
Yeah. Well, fire departments are having to go out now and buy equipment, different equipment to deal with electric vehicles because their structures are different than gasoline vehicles. And General Motors is actually going out and educating fire departments. They have an education department that goes out and educates fire departments on how to put out electrical car fires.
You can't just spray it with water. That isn't going to work.
No, you're not doing anything. You have to spray it with a special kind of foam. I think I had seen talk or seen somewhere development of a blanket device.
Well, that makes sense.
That would go over the car and cut the oxygen off. And that would put out the fire. I don't know how practical or how close you can get, what stage of a fire you could deploy that blanket at. It'd be interesting. I tried to do this a few months ago and couldn't get them to get me anybody, but I'm going to try it again to get a representative from GM on to talk about how they fight these fires. I think it's an interesting topic. and something that the public should know about. How do fire departments? What should you do if you come upon an electric car that's catching on fire as a motorist? Is it the same as uh, a regular car where you just go up to the car and open the door and try to drag the person out if they're unconscious?
That's a good start.
Do the doors even open if it's an electric car? Because most electric cars have electric doors, and the switch for the electric door is inside the car. There's no device you can touch on the outside of the car that'll open the door.
Unintended circumstances have led to a tragedy.
Yeah. So I don't know that, but it's certainly an interesting topic. What do you do if you come upon an electric car that's either engulfed in flames or about to be engulfed in flames, and the person's inside and they can't move due to injury or shock or paralysis? How do you?
Thing to do is call for more Waymos.
Yeah, they'll help you out. I would think, off the top of my head, that the quickest thing to do would be to just smash the window and get them out that way. But who knows? You may be doing more harm than good feeding oxygen to the fire.
And the idea that a Waymo has the prime directive somewhere in its operating system to go crazy, to lose control, to invade the neighborhood, call the other Waymos to come and join them at the top of the hill, Daly City.
Yeah, that kind of makes you think, if you don't want to take a Waymo to work, can they call 3 or 4 Waymos to gang up on you and follow you down the street?
Take you where they want to take you.
Right. The government says that, well, geez, we don't even have to. Well, you don't want to see cops in your neighborhood? Well, that's okay. We're going to send Waymos out to your neighborhood to scoop up your what we perceive to be your illegal aliens. There'll be nobody to complain to. Go complain to the Waymo. See how they listen to you.
Homeland Security will be driving Waymos only.
Christy Nome will be riding down the street in a bikini and a Waymo.
That probably will happen this weekend. She loses her control, loses her composure.
Shooting dogs as she goes down.
Shooting puppies.
Shooting puppies because they don't belong in that neighborhood.
It wouldn't be quiet.
It wouldn't be quiet, so we'll shoot them. It sounds crazy, right? But with this bunch of fun people that are running the country, it's not all. It's crazy, but it's not impossible, is it?
It's probably something that we're going to have to deal with. Christine.
Yeah, she's going to be dealt with at some point. How she should be. She's going to have to some point face somebody.
I'm waiting for the first member of the administration to be sacrificed, and it could be Christie.
The Brashear Shapiro administration is going to have their hands full in 2028 or 2029 when they take office.
Vinnie, what are you going to do this weekend besides your show?
You're
going to the game.
I'm going to the game, and I'm going to put up the rest of my Christmas lights. And kind of like that. What are you doing?
Christmas shopping.
There you go. Yeah, I got a fair amount of Christmas lights up, but there's more to be done. And I'm I'm gonna quickly see if I can swing this and show you my newest addition to my office. I'm you know what? I can't do it because I have the. Well, let me quickly. I want to show this to you because I know you would appreciate it. This is the latest addition to my office that my daughter made for me. Can you
Groucho.
can you see that?
I see a Groucho face.
Yes, it's a T-shirt that I bought many, many years ago, probably about 1972, when the movie of Groucho Marx had a biographical movie
Mhm.
that was out. I saw it at the Translux Theater in New York City on 57th Street, and they were selling these T-shirts in the lobby. I think for about $4 or $5, if I remember right.
You had to have one.
And I said I have to have one, and so there are several pictures of me wearing this T-shirt, which for a long time was one of my favorites. And I gave it to my daughter years ago, and she took it and made it into a wall piece. Because it's ripped and this and that, and she got sick of me wearing it while it was ripped, because I would still wear it.
Well, its time as a T-shirt is over, but it goes on as a wall decoration.
Yes, many people have taken their T-shirts. I wonder what I'm going to do with my Joni Mitchell staff T-shirt that I have from when I worked at Forest Hill Stadium for Joni Mitchell when she came to town.
Let me think of something.
Yeah, I have one for Joni Mitchell, one for the Carpenters that I worked. I lost my Sly and the Family Stone when I had one.
And that was late anyway, or didn't show up at all.
Well, yeah, if I remember right, that venue, they came to that venue, and I don't even think they started till 11:00, and I think it was an 8:30 or 9:00 call, or showtime actually, and they were nowhere to be found until So you had this the opening band, which I can't even remember who it was. It was a local bunch of chaps, and I think they played for 3 hours.
They played every song they knew twice.
Exactly. They played Good Lovin' 4 times. And it wasn't a rascal, so, All right. Have a good weekend. See you on Monday if the Lord's willing.
And the creek will rise.
Rising, I'm probably going to keep out of my comments this weekend because the damn creek is rising all over the place.
That's for sure. So it's more than just a creek.
Yeah, keep those people in your mind. And if you have a couple extra bucks, you might want to send it to the Red Cross up here in the Northwest, in the Red Cross of the Northwest, because they're doing a great job with being out there and helping people and keeping the first responders loaded up in coffee and whatever else they load first responders up with. And
stay off the roads if you don't need to go anywhere.
And if you don't need to go out to the east side, over the passes or anything like that, stay off of the road. Let the people do their work and let the rivers go back down, and let's take it from there. See you on Monday, Michael.
See you, Vinnie. Have a good weekend.
Peace, love, and Manischewitz, man. To see you all Monday. We'll see you tomorrow morning for drive time at 11. Be safe out there.
All right. See you.
See you.